Hey guys, so I'm not doing a reading at the moment. Well, I may pull some cards on a few things. But I want to talk a little bit about the Amari Nicholson case. I know some of you guys started following my YouTube after I started doing some of the readings, and some of you have been on it for a while. And it looks, when I was able to predict some things accurate. Apparently, I did find an article. I was confused because apparently he had been put in a dumpster first, and then he was buried. So that body got moved. Okay, so we do know that because the DA, I do have it in my community tab. There's a YouTube where he does say he was initially put in a dumpster. So there were certain things that I did predict, and you guys, many of you saw my readings. But this is kind of what I wanted to say on this. And this has been a really hard week. Matter of fact, I got really sick after doing these readings. I'm still on the mend. I ended up coming down with a sinus infection, and that can happen if I do a reading that is kind of dark. If I really kind of dig in there and do some dark kind of reads, it can make me ill. And I feel that's part of the reason I got sick, because I'm not really around anybody. I work from home. I do everything from home. I don't get out very much. I really try to avoid being around anybody during a pandemic and things like that, which is, really important. But it was a really hard case on all of us, okay? And the monster is arrested. And I never felt that the mother was responsible for the passing, but in that interview, did she know? Okay? And I do feel she knew by then, okay? And stuff like that, And, but this is what I want to say, on that. And some people may agree, disagree, or whatnot on what I have to say, because I did watch her interview by herself. Many of you have, I know you're watching everything on this case, and you saw her interview, and there were finally some tears and things like that. I also think of Taylor is very close to the age of my daughter, even a little bit younger. Okay, so she's at that age. So I kind of think of the level of maturity of a person that age. And we do not know what kind of upbringing she had, but I am willing to bet it was not a good one, especially if she was pregnant at 12 years old. Okay, so, as far as that goes, I feel her upbringing had to have been pretty neglectful in its own. And this is a young woman who was not really taught very well. No offense to mom. I know mom is grieving. Okay, I understand. But something went wrong. That certain things somehow, we were not necessarily maybe raised well at home. We were not taught enough about having a stable foundation with relationships and things like that. Like, where's the father? Okay, things like that. Okay, I haven't seen an interview with her father. Where is he? Is he in jail? Where is he? I don't know. I don't know. So, I want people to take that into consideration. I was watching the interview where, she is the type that kind of can shut down. And that seems to be the way that she can deal with things. And we know I detected abuse from even the bio. And we know she's been in abusive relationships. And obviously, there's apparently, her lifestyle and things like that. This is somebody who did not love herself or respect herself. Okay, there's a lot wrong here. And sometimes when I'm watching her in the interviews, I feel like she's trying to be tough and hard. Like, this is a girl who tried to be tough and hard. And at her core, that's not who she is. She puts on a tough front, is kind of the feel I get from her. When I watch her, like, she tries to be tough and cool and all that, but she's not. She's just a mess. And, a person like that can be easily taken advantage of. Okay? So, and she may still, I was feeling, she may still get arrested for knowing some things or trying to mislead an investigation. Though right now they're saying, but I never felt she would be charged for his death. But as far as like lying or this or that could still happen. That's a possibility. And if, and obviously, yes, if she knew certain things and was misleading them, she should be arrested. Okay? But at the same time, I just wanted to say to you guys, you know, one of the things that kind of hit me, I was kind of sitting there through the week really thinking on it. I was on my phone reading some of the groups, and the messages were just so heated. And what Spirit said to me, you know what Spirit said? It's stuff, because I got that connection, okay? Spirit said, I want you to think, how does Amari feel about his mother? You know? And I kind of sat there, and it almost makes me sad, because and I was like, no matter what, I know Amari loved his mother. And I know still does. Okay? So I want you guys to think on that. When we're in these web sleuth groups, or we're online and we just want to hang her and rake her over the coals for the bad mother thing, right? I want you to think about, how does Amari feel about his mother? Okay? And what would Amari want for his mother? He would want his mother to be happy, right? You know, and whatever pain she's in, to be set free of that and somehow healed. Because she's going to have to live with this pain the rest of her life. That's one thing, she has to live with this pain the rest of her life. Amari's in heaven. Amari's greeted by loved ones and is embraced by the Spirit. And she's got to remain here, you know, for however many days of her life, and live with this horrible story, you know, that someone took her son. Okay? And we don't know exactly why did she leave him behind? That's a question she has not answered, you know, and I'm hoping in the coming days, or maybe when the court case, we will find that out. Why would she leave him behind? Why did she not take him? You know, would he not let her? Was there something weird going on with that? Was she like, I'm going to come back for him? Is that part of the reason I'm going to send somebody to come by, was to get Amari? We don't know that. Because who was this person that was supposed to come by? Okay, there's still a lot of unknowns that I'm not sure I can even answer. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there, you know, and I'll throw a few cards down for a message of Spirit. But I wanted to put that out there. How does Amari feel about his mom? And I want you guys, before you're about to rake her over the coals, okay, and, you know, and crucify her in public and everything else like that, you know, because one of the things I have to think about as a spiritualist, you know, I got to think, how does Spirit see people? That's what helps me to be an effective reader, is I'm giving messages of Spirit, how Spirit sees. If she lied, she should be held accountable. You're absolutely right, and everything. But I do not feel her intent, you know, was, you know, ever to have this happen to Amari. You know, I definitely feel that she is probably frustrated. I've got a kid, I've got this, the bio dad's not involved. You know, her frustration. She definitely, you know, was overwhelmed with the job. Okay. But it, you know, she set herself up too many times to be taken advantage of by men, you know, for whatever reason. Is she just somehow looking for love in some kind of way? You know, and it just keeps picking the wrong thing, because she doesn't know what love is. Okay. So I want you to think about that, though. How does Amari see his mother? Because I bet you anything, Amari sees his mother in a way that you do not. And if you really care for him and love him as much as everybody's saying they do, you need to think on that, okay? Just like when I'm reading, I don't want to abuse her. I'm not happy about her going on OnlyFans. And I'm not, you know, this whole situation is terrible. But at the same time, I have to know that, you know, yes, she let him down. Yes, she did. But at the same time, he doesn't see it that way. Okay? So I want you to understand that. I'll throw a few cards down with the message. I just want to get a short one out. This isn't going to be a long one or anything. So we've got the card completion. So the one thing, you know, this did not end up being cold case and all that. And that is a 4, which is about stability. And yes, the betrayal. We know that. You know, she was betrayed. Amari was taken. You know, so yes, you know, it's just like she said, you know, he betrayed me. And everything like that. We had the disappearance, and the magician made him disappear. And everything like that. And, hold on. But then we have the star, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, one of the things there will be is justice. I do believe definitely. Oh, there's definitely going to be justice with this. Right now, I've got the strength card. She's just trying to be strong. But we got that cruelty. This was a cruel act. And did he do this to hurt her? I suspect so. I suspect so. Really do. But there's some unknowns still. I understand that. Law enforcement is not done, though. Law enforcement is not done. But see, we've got that Empress energy. That is next to law enforcement. That makes me feel like she is working with them. She is trying to work with them because the Emperor for law enforcement and Mother, are sitting there side by side, and everything like that. But all the truth is going to come out. I believe, yeah, it's Sunday. So this week we should have more information, some timelines and things like that. So guys, just be patient, be patient. I know there's a lot that they were both being abused and this and that. And yeah, he shows up as the Knight of Wands. That was Terrell's card right next to the Empress and everything like that. But at the same time, what this comes down to, just kind of let some of this evolve, but let's not be, let's try to vibe high in the sense the way we are. Let's not get down and dirty. I mean, I've seen some people are coming out. I'm not saying I'm Team Taylor, do not get me wrong, but I'm a Team Amari. But that's one of the things I wanted to kind of get out there is I'm looking at her through his eyes. Like he doesn't hold any resentment. He does not hold blame to her. He's not sitting there going, what'd you do? Why'd you do this? He's not judging her. Okay, he loved her. You got to understand, when a child is born, that mother's face is the face of God. That is who they see God as. Okay, and that's who he saw God as. Okay, so that's his understanding. And that's the main one in life. It's but she was she was not apparently mature enough to handle motherhood and everything like that. I feel she wanted, she wanted to have him with her, but she didn't know how to go about it, and do it right, and trying to bring these strangers in and everything, to play daddy, that was a huge mistake, and she knows that now. And it's definitely a lesson for any young person, that when you're, out there, if you're wanting to date but you have a child too, you need to keep those worlds separate for as long as possible till you really, really know someone. And once they show some kind of abuse or control or this or that kind of crazy stuff, you got to get out of it. You really got to get out of it, these abusive situations. So, but we should know more news next week. Ace of Swords is about the truth, guys. And that card has come up a lot. It's come up a lot. But one of the things, obviously, if when that interview, I still feel in the interview she knew. There's a lot of things in there. I was definitely feeling that. Especially trying to blame someone else is a big thing. They were both in cahoots on blaming someone else. He doesn't know who the bio dad's relatives are, right? But also, one thing she said, I at least 5 times, they didn't know where we lived. Okay. And then she said something like they stalked us. Well, they got to have a point of reference, like following you from a job, which they did not have, or something. Okay. But she kept repeating they did not know where we lived, which to me is really a Freudian slip. That how could they have found them if they didn't know where we live? Unless she's trying to do some cry for help so people would figure it out without her having to tell on him. I don't know. That's possible. That's possible. I will throw that out, that's a possibility. That she was too scared to say anything about it, so she was hoping somebody would figure it out. Maybe. But we should know more information this week, guys. There's going to be an autopsy, and I don't even think I want to read that, to be honest. I can only imagine how bad it is. But that's what I want you guys to think of. How does this little one see his mother? Before you go rake her over the coals, okay? Yes, it's tragic. Yes, she messed up. She made huge mistakes. But before we do that, before we do that, okay, I want you to kind of think, how did Amari see his mother?